coming up.
Coach, you're here and she's coming this way. I need to step out for that little mid-range. All right? Well, let's go. Let's work. Fight.
Athletics and academics. From men's and women's basketball to baseball and soccer, student athletes are winning on the field and in the classroom. Find out how Prince George's Community College's athletic programs support student success next on Around Prince George's.
Welcome to this edition of Around Prince George's. I'm Charlene Dukes, president of Prince George's Community College. In our region, college sports are hugely popular at four-year institutions. But did you know that a large number of community colleges in the U.S. sponsor at least one varsity athletic team? According to the U.S. Department of Education, in 2014, nearly 50,000 students participated in varsity athletics at public community colleges. For many students, athletic programs can be a strong motivation for pursuing higher education. And for institutions, it can be a big part of college life. Here with me to discuss the importance of intercollegiate sports at the community college level is Diane Schumacher, a longtime advocate for developing playing opportunities for men and women in sports. Diane is the vice president of the Maryland Junior College Athletic Conference and the athletic director at Howard Community College. Also joining me today is the athletic director of Prince George's Community College, Joanne Tadero. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We're absolutely delighted to have you here. So Diane, why don't we start with you? Give us an overview of the size and scope of athletic programs across the community colleges in Maryland, and then talk to us about some of the varsity sports that are available to students.
Love to. Right now we have 16 community colleges in the state of Maryland, of which belong to the Maryland JUCO Conference. And of those 16 schools, we are very, very diverse. A lot of our programs, we field Division I programs, which are full scholarships, Division II programs, which are partial scholarships, and then we have Division III programs, which are non-scholarship programs. Everything is based on financial need. What's great about our conference is we have such diversity. We have some institutions, like your institution at Prince George's, is strictly Division III across the board. We have Hagerstown, completely Division I. Hartford is Division I across the board. And schools like Howard, we have a variety of sports that we offer that are both Division III, Division II, and Division I.
So talk about some of the varsity sports that are available. Does every community college offer the same thing, or do they have choices around what it is that they want to field in terms of athletics?
I think a lot of the responsibility lies with the institution and certainly the athletic directors and people like yourself to determine what sports you should offer based on your local community and their interests. But right now, the most popular sport that every school offers in the conference is men and women's basketball. And then the next popular sport is men's baseball, women's softball. Next popular sport is women's volleyball. Next popular sport is men and women's soccer. Then we go right into lacrosse, which is really growing for both men and women. Cross country has seen growth in the last few years in our programs for both men and women, and track and field. And some of our schools, very few schools, offer golf and tennis.
Wow, that's a large variety of sports. So Joanne, give us an overview of the program here at Prince George's. How large is it? How has it developed over the years?
Well, we offer 10 intercollegiate athletic sports, men's and women's soccer, men's and women's basketball, baseball, softball, track and field, and cross country. What we've done is really take a look at what is offered in our county and in our county public high schools. And we noticed several years ago that we were seeing a decrease in interest in, say, golf. And we made a decision to let the golf program go, but we added track and field, which has been a tremendous success for us here. I mean, our first year we went to nationals, set national records. So we really look at what's offered in our county and what's best meets the needs of our students.
Well, as we talk about what best meets the need, I know that there are other purposes that athletic programs provide. It's not just about being on the field in that competitive, or on the court in that competitive manner, but it really is about a larger purpose. And can you all talk to me about what you believe that is?
I think athletics in a college setting, and specific to community college, it is the spirit of the campus. When you've got athletics on your campuses, people can rally around your sport programs. You have your faculty, you have your staff, you have your fellow students. They rally around sport programs, especially when they become successful. To me, basketball being the most popular, kids will come and gravitate toward your basketball program, and they'll come and watch your teams play. So I think the spirit of the campus for athletics is huge. And when you're dealing with recruitment of students to your campus, of course, in our culture, sports is huge. And we're dealing with, you know, the traditional students of the 17-year-olds, the 18-year-olds. In the 90s, community colleges exploded with the traditional students. And what do these traditional students want when they're looking for a college? They want to know if you have sport programs, because they want to play.
So as we think about that, Joanne, here at Prince George's, what purpose has our program provided for the students that we serve?
I would think, and I agree with Diane, that it provides a huge student engagement across the board, not just with our student athletes, but I think for us at Prince George's, what we've seen is that it's increasing our retention rates. It's increasing the success of our students here. We just finished a unit review for the athletic department, and I can tell you that we are retaining 79% of our students, our student athletes. And I think when you compare that to our overall college retention rate, you would see that it's considerably higher. So I think we have focused the last 5 years on academics, and that the student came first before the word athlete. So I think that's what's best about us at Prince George's.
And we know that that's sort of immensely huge in the dialogue and the discourse that's occurring around the country, whether it's 2-year institutions or 4-year institutions. How do we ensure that we put the word academics and scholarship and learning in front of the word athletics? So I know that we all appreciate that in Maryland. So you've talked a little bit about the academic successes of students locally. What happens from a statewide perspective, Diane?
I think you're going to find across the board, when we do any statistics statewide, you're going to find similar stories. We are retaining student athletes higher than the general population of students that come to community colleges. There's a vested interest. Once you get these student athletes into your college, they may not know what they want career-wise. They're not sure the classes that they'll take, but the one thing they sure know is they want to be involved in athletics. Once you get them in, that's the carrot. And then you tie them into your resources here at our campuses. They start getting it. They start understanding what it means to be a student.
So one of the things that I understand, and it probably came to light for me during the last Super Bowl, quarterback Cam Newton actually played for a community college before he was recruited by Auburn University. So what are the prospects that are out there for students relative to scholarships as they think about transferring to a 4-year institution, whether they're D3, D2, or D1?
There are more academic scholarships in this country than there are athletic scholarships. And that's the first thing I think parents need to understand. I think there's a lot of pressure on athletes in this country anyway, from the lower levels on. They're getting their kids involved in athletics. It's an explosion of youth programs that we're seeing, and they're telling their kids, you can get a scholarship, because if you can get a scholarship, the cost of education is so high right now. A lot of parents cannot afford to send their kids to schools unless they have some help, be it through financial aid or through scholarship programs. So there's a combination. Not everybody gets an athletic scholarship, but if you do really well in school, you'll have more opportunities for academic scholarships.
And then you can certainly participate in athletics. That was something that we thought about very personally in our family, because my son ran track and field. and we talked about that when he was thinking about his next step after high school. Mom, do I take this athletic scholarship or do I take this academic scholarship? And from our perspective, he made the right decision, which was to pursue the academic scholarship, but use it as an opportunity to participate in sports. So as we think about this, we know, you've mentioned it, that there are tight fiscal times. These are tight fiscal times for colleges and universities. We're all looking at ways to sort of tighten our belts, because across the country, college enrollment has decreased as the economy has gained. Then what we know is people go back to work. So are we finding that we're losing programs? Are we initiating new programs? Or quite frankly, are we staying the course?
I actually take this because I'm a member of the NJCAA Executive Committee as well, so I've seen the national trend. And believe it or not, the trend has not been to decrease athletics in these times of economic crisis or whatever. We're actually seeing a small rise in individual sports. So the golf, the tennises, the track and fields, the cross country, which wasn't very popular a few years ago, why it doesn't cost a lot of money to field those programs. Those are the programs that we're seeing an increase in on a national basis. And we've seen that also in the Maryland JUCO Conference. Cross country, last year we awarded both a men's and a women's conference championship, and we hadn't done that in like 7 years prior.
This year, our track program is huge. We have 36. The challenge is always females in the Maryland JUCO Conference. And a lot of times it's because these women do well academically. There are a lot more opportunities with these evolving sports called lacrosse. So they're getting scholarships. So they're taking these kids right from high school, giving them scholarships.
Well, that's great to know. And what we really want to do is to thank you, Diane, for joining us. And we're going to take a short break right now. But when we return, we'll talk about the success of the Prince George's Community College Owls. Stay with us.
Prince George's Community College isn't just a place that offers more than 200 academic workforce development and continuing education programs. It's the first step toward the career of your dreams. It's a community of people who want you to succeed. It's where degrees are earned and potential is realized. Apply and register today. Call 301-546-PGCC, that's 301-546-7422. Prince George's Community College, transforming lives.
Welcome back to Around Prince George's. Let's continue the discussion of community college athletic programs by highlighting the success of the Owls. Joining me is Joanne Tadero, Athletic Director of Prince George's Community College, and Michelle Millwood, our men's soccer coach, who is also a PGCC graduate. Welcome. So Joanne, we know that you have a dynamic coaching staff across all of the intercollegiate athletic sports that we have. So we know that our coaching staff has led the Owls to a number of championships and national rankings in the past several years. Tell us about the success of some of our varsity teams.
Well, as you know, our men's basketball team just won their third straight Region 20 championship, and unfortunately lost a heartbreaker in the district game by 1 point. Our men's soccer team, which Coach Millwood coaches, obviously, was the Region 20 runner-up this year. In the past years, they have won numerous championships. The year that Coach Mills played, we went to the national tournament and finished 4th. Our women's basketball team won last year and advanced to the final 8 in the national tournament. And our men's and women's track and field team have won so many individual championships that we would need the rest of this program for me to list all of those.
Well, one of the things that we know is that our viewers may not be aware that Troy Weaver, the Vice President and Assistant General Manager of the Oklahoma City Thunder, is a former PGCC basketball player who also coached at Syracuse and for the Utah Jazz. So Coach Millwood, we know that you also are a star athlete. You're a former NJCAA All-American for the Owls, and you went on to the NCAA. So tell us about your accomplishments.
As far as accomplishments, I think coming here to Prince George's was a good start for me. It was a situation where there was no direction until I really got here. I think the friends I met here, all the people, including coaching staff, were great mentors, and they actually paved the way for me moving on to NCAA college. And they're friends for life now. The bond is great, and I couldn't actually be where I am now without them. So for that, it was great starting here at Prince George's.
So do you mind telling us where you went?
Oh, I actually moved on to Towson University on a full athletic scholarship from here. Worked with Towson for a couple of years. I did 2 years. Went to the MLS Combine, which is the Major League Soccer. Got drafted, played at Columbus Crew for a couple of years. Played in the lower leagues for a couple of years. Ended my career with Baltimore Blast. Ended up winning 4 national championships. So I think that actually is the best part of it, is winning and knowing that it doesn't matter where you start from. If you put hard work into it, there could always be great accomplishments.
Well, you know that we're proud of you, and I would say that you're all that in a bag of chips, but what might happen is that might tell you what my age is, so we'll just forget that I said that. So one of the things that we know is that there are some other individual success stories that are really similar to Coach Millwood's. Joanne, talk to us a little bit about what those are.
Well, we're just really starting to track all of our history. We've recently had several baseball players sign with Major League Baseball. Obviously, we've had tons of athletes that have moved on to the 4-year level, but right now we're actually in the process of tracking all the ones down that moved on to professional play. I know we have several soccer players in my tenure that I know have moved on to play nationally, but we need to track them all down to find them. We also found out that we had a baseball player back in the 60s that moved on to play, and we actually just found him through Facebook.
Right.
So we're in the process now of really getting all of our history together.
And I believe, isn't it Fred Funk who played golf here,
Yes,
and
he
then
did.
certainly went on to become a major player and force professionally in the realm of golf. So we're very excited about all of the things that our athletes contribute, not just in terms of competition, but academically, that they're scholars, they're moving on, we're retaining them at greater and greater rates, and we think all of that is important. But the one thing we know is, while we have traditional students who come here who are somewhere between the ages of 18 and 22, we have a large non-traditional population. And even with 18-year-olds, that they're trying to balance work, athletics, academics. So how do we recruit our athletes, and what are the eligibility requirements? And maybe we'll have both of you answer that question overall, and then maybe specifically what do we do for soccer?
Well, the NJCAA requirements for participation is actually harder than NCAA eligibility, and a lot of people don't realize that. At the junior college level, athletes are required to take 12 credit hours, and they are required to pass 12 credit hours every semester with a 2.0 GPA. Now, we do not have an age requirement, so no matter how old you are, you could continue to play at the junior college level. You have 2 years to play, obviously, here, and sometimes it may take you 3 years to play those 2 years. But our big focus is on accumulating credit hours towards a degree.
And then, Coach Millwood, as you think about, what do you look for in potential soccer players here who want to come here to play for the Owls?
I think drive. I think definitely most of the kids that I talk to are really, specifically I talk about education. And I think most of the successful athletes that's come through this college have basically gone through because they really want to get an education. I think those are the ones that are a lot more motivated. Obviously, you can't play unless you have accumulated certain credit hours, and those are the ones that actually get to move on. I think if it's just about playing, then the vision will not be the same.
And maybe what we can do is, if I can just turn to Joanne in our last few seconds, I know it's athletics, but it's academics. What do we offer students to help them as they move through the institution?
All of our student athletes are required to go to study hall. They attend 3 hours a week, mandatory study hall. And if we see by tracking their academic progress that they're not passing classes with a minimum of a C, then those study hours are increased. We have tutors in study hall, And I want to just comment on Coach Millwood here. His men's soccer team in the fall currently has a 3.17 GPA. So he is doing exactly what we stress. Put academics first, and he's doing a great job instilling that in our student athletes.
Well, what we want to do is to thank you, Joanne, thank you, Coach Millwood, for joining me today. And for more information about the athletic programs at Prince George's Community College, please visit www.pgccowls.com. We'll be right back with more of Around Prince George's.
Prince George's Community College isn't just a place that offers more than 200 academic workforce development and continuing education programs. It's the first step toward the career of your dreams. It's a community of people who want you to succeed. It's where degrees are earned and potential is realized. Apply and register today. Call 301-546-PGCC, that's 301-546-7422. Prince George's Community College, transforming lives.
Welcome back to Around Prince George's. We've been talking about the benefits of athletic programs at Prince George's Community College, and joining me is Tiana Harris, our women's basketball coach, along with two of our student athletes, O'Shea Smith and John Paul Banaka. Welcome.
Well,
Thank you.
We'll be delighted to talk about some of your experiences as student athletes. But Coach Harris,
Yes.
you're the women's basketball coach, and you went to the NJCAA National Championships. What was that like?
it was great. It was a great experience for myself and the players. They got to show their talents to a lot of four-year schools. We got to show off our school, Prince George's Community College, and we represented. It was a great experience for me to know what I need to do to be successful in that capacity in the future. So it was just a great experience overall, and it was very exciting. Looking forward to it again.
And what we also know is that you played here
Yes.
at Prince George's
Yes.
Community College.
Yes.
And you're not just the basketball coach, you're also the coordinator for our academic and student success programs as it relates to the athletic program. So tell us what that is, and what do you do, and what are you requiring of students in that capacity?
Okay, well, the student success coordinator, basically what I do is every student athlete has to come through me in order to play in any type of sport. They have to come through me every day for a study hall. They're in mandatory study hall 3 hours a week, and some is 5. My athletes had 5, women's basketball, 5 hours a week. That is just to get them to stay acclimated with their classes. You know, being a full-time athlete and a full-time student is hard, and it's hard to prioritize your classwork, your how to study, and things of that nature. So we give them an opportunity of time slots to come in and acclimate those things. Get in there and get your classwork done. Get in there and get help from your peers, you know, in different categories that you need help in. So that's what we do. And I also send out progress reports 3 times a semester to track all the grades, and if anyone comes back with anything lower than a C, their hours go up to 5 hours, and then they're also entitled to have mandatory tutoring. So we definitely keep track and keep a hold on everything and making sure we retain them and keeping our success rate up.
So O'Shea and John Paul, and we'll start with you, O'Shea.
Yes.
What sport do you play, and how long have you been playing competitively?
I've been playing basketball since 4th grade, and I enjoyed playing my first year here at Prince George's Community College. I played varsity all 4 years of high school, and I also played for Boys and Girls Club.
So where'd you go to high school?
At Forestville Military Academy.
Forestville Military Academy, so
Yes.
you're a Prince Georgian.
Yes.
And you decided to come to Prince George's Community College. Why?
Because it's easier to commute back and forth from home. Saves me a lot of money, of course, and I'm able to get more help. Instead of going to a big university, it's a lot of people. I like where I can get attention, and I'm able to be helped more.
So what was it like going to the national championship?
That was it's the greatest memory I always have. I shed a tear every time I go in the gym. I'm like, where's our banner, Coach T? Like, that's just it was a great experience. And then I went back to my high school and told them all about it, and then they won states for our high school.
All right.
So A very great experience.
Good, good. And John Paul, what sport do you play?
I play baseball here at the college. I played baseball since I was about 5 or 6, AAU, travel. My dad's always coached me, always made me a better player, better person overall, and he led me all the way up until here. And unfortunately, he's not with me at this point because he's back in Massachusetts, where I'm from, and he's kind of just guiding me through the phone now.
All right, and then, so what made you choose Prince George's Community College?
I came down here on a visit. The recruiting coach called me, asked me to come down and visit. Said, of course. Came down here, loved the campus, probably one of the biggest campuses I've ever seen for a community college. Beautiful campus, great atmosphere. Coaching staff was awesome. I got to meet the athletic director, the athletic administration office, everybody in it, amazing. Just all around great experience when I came down here, and there was no place I'd rather be.
So the rest was history. So tell us, what's your major and what do you want to do when you graduate from Prince George's and move on?
My major right now is kinesiology, but I will be changing it to sports management at a 4-year. I've already committed to play Division I baseball at Coppin State University in Baltimore. So there I'll be pursuing my degree in sports management and continuing to play baseball. First game actually next year will be at the University of South California. Be down there for a week and a half. I'll enjoy that so much.
All right, maybe I'll come and see you.
Maybe.
What about you, O'Shea, your major, and what do you want to do?
My major is accounting. I just finished EMT, what was that, last semester. So I'm going to pursue an EMT because that's what I'm passionate about. And accounting is just like, in EMT, you only have to get them 24 hours out of a month. So in my meantime, so I can stay occupied, I'll do accounting.
All right, great, great. And then do you expect, so you're thinking about EMT as a career?
A career.
As a career, and then looking at how accounting, you can continue to pursue that.
Yes, my mom, she have a lot of business, so I can be her accountant.
All right, great,
Keep it in the family.
Great. So how do you think, Coach T, that student athletes like O'Shea and John, really how athletics helps them in the achievement, the pursuit of their goals?
Athletics build character. You know, it keeps you disciplined. It gives you, makes you an all-around person. It helps you learn how to deal with different obstacles in your life while you're dealing with certain emotions, you know what I mean? So it definitely grasps you and prepares you for life. Athletics also, you know, you learn and meet a lot of new people. You know, it definitely brings the camaraderie for each other and with each other. So athletics is always a good way and dynamic for me to see structure in these kids.
So I'm going to ask you all to do something that's probably really quick. Give me 3 words that describe your athletic experience here, what the best part of being a student athlete.
Me, probably be the diversity, the travel, and just the all-around experience.
Diversity, travel, the all-around experience. O'Shea?
The diversity, the travel, and the food.
Well, listen, we absolutely want to thank Coach Harris. We want to thank you, O'Shea, and you, John Paul, for joining me on the program today. For more information about the athletic programs at Prince George's Community College, please visit www.pgccowls.com. And that's all for this edition of Around Prince George's. As we close, here's a fun look at our new owl mascot, nicknamed Hootie. Thanks for watching.